I am so excited about this year's Stars of STEM Gala. Aren't you, Cooper? What do you think you're going to be wearing?
I think I'm going to break out my party hat from my 32nd birthday.
Isn't it awful quiet in here today for the Stars of STEM? What do you think, Jamaica?
For sure. I was thinking the very same thing.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Darwin?
Don't you remember? This year's gala is virtual.
I'll bring the popcorn. Just remember to grab your mask.
Let's all gather around my iPad.
From the Museum of Science, welcome to the Stars of STEM Virtual Gala. I'm Tim Ritchie, president of the museum and your host for the evening. Tonight is about recognizing those leaders in industry and our community who make it possible for us to fulfill our mission of inspiring a lifelong love of science in everyone. We are honored tonight to recognize Dell for their partnership and commitment to shaping the future of innovation by developing technologies to drive human progress. And we applaud Dell's dedication in expanding access to STEM education with a laser focus on underserved and underrepresented students. This extraordinary year has created a unique moment for STEM leaders. The global pandemic has forced us to reconsider the value of science in all aspects of our lives and has demanded that science be public, participatory, and inclusive. We as a museum have leaned into this moment to break down barriers to science education and to be the conduit for convening scientific experts and community leaders in exploring and addressing fact-based evidence in shaping our work, our lives, and humanity. We're using our digital platforms to build new audiences and reach the public where they are. Together, we can harness the knowledge and resources we have for tackling the crisis we face today and the more complex challenges we will collectively face in the years ahead. I want to thank everyone here with us tonight and throughout our larger community for your support and your belief in us this year as we innovate our way through the COVID crisis. Whether it is in online programming, virtual town halls, or place-based visits, our goal is to be the source the community trusts for science education, science information, and science engagement. This evening would not be possible without the support of close to 70 different sponsors that are a mix of individuals and corporations who have stepped up to help us promote STEM education and expand access to our engaging programs and content. I'd like to thank our Imagine sponsor and tonight's honoree, Dell Technologies, and our pioneer sponsors, Bloomberg Philanthropies and Will York and Paul Mader. Our dedicated Stars of STEM host committee is also an important group of partners that we can't thank enough. So thank you to all of you. Tonight, you will hear from a number of leaders sharing about the impact the museum has had on them and on our community. We hope to share with you the work of our amazing staff and their sheer dedication to delivering the museum's mission in what has been one of the toughest years in our 190-year history. We hope it will inspire you to help us to continue that work as we persevere into 2021. This pandemic has taught us that now, more than ever, we need to build a world where science is trusted and one where everyone has the opportunities to build their STEM literacy and their STEM identities. What we've learned over the last few months is that in uncertain times, educators need programs that are flexible. Students need experiences that engage them in hands-on, minds-on learning, even when they're virtual. And here's where we need your help. Tonight, right now, let's work together to raise at least $50,000 to help increase STEM access to more students. We need your help to bring hands-on virtual experiences to all children. One of those experiences is with our Engineering is Elementary, EIE, virtual learning programs. EIE is our award-winning engineering and computer science curricula for students in preschool to 8th grade. These research-based classroom-tested programs are empowering children to become lifelong STEM learners and passionate problem solvers. Throughout this year, the EIE team has innovated to understand the new needs of educators and families across the country as a result of the traumatic upheaval kids have seen with their education. The team created a series of flexible solutions for educators, students, and families to bring hands-on STEM learning to virtual environments. You, tonight, will have the opportunity to make a difference in a child's life. You can help us expand our reach into the community, to the nation, and to the world. Exposure to STEM education can be a catalyst to a STEM career, and at a bare minimum, your contribution will ensure that children gain the tools they need to become effective problem solvers, communicators, critical thinkers, and strong team collaborators. All tools that they can use to prepare for a STEM-related career or to contribute to a world as citizens. This is a world that is driven by science and technology, and it rises and falls with kids' ability to use science and technology to engage in the world. You can help us do that tonight with our virtual programs. $50,000 is the goal. Let's work tonight and exceed it. All you need to do to donate is simply text MOS to 24365. So you put in 24365 and then text MOS. Then you'll get a link and you follow the link and make a gift. If you don't want to use your phones, you can go to donate.mos.org/Stars of STEM gift. Big or small, every gift will make a difference and help us make an impact. I'll be popping back in throughout the course of the evening and hope to be able to share some of the great achievements. Okay, some housekeeping details. We are on Twitter and Instagram this evening at #StarsOfSTEM and at Museum of Science. Share with us how you're enjoying this event from your home this evening and why you are supporting the Museum of Science. Why do you care? What are your hopes? What does the Museum of Science mean to you? By the way, it's also Mass STEM Week, so we encourage you to give a shout out at Mass STEM Week. Enough from me. Let's get to the program. First, we're going to hear from Leilani Germain and her son, Jack. Leilani is a vice president with Ameriprise Financial Services and a member of our museum advisors. After that, you will meet Francisca Moraga Lopez, Vanessa Sorullo. Francisca and Vanessa are a part of our wonderful EIE team here at the museum and have been instrumental in our work related to our new MOS en Español platform, making sure that we are thinking critically about our representation in our materials.
We chose to be involved with the museum because we have found it to be a place that our whole family enjoys. From the fun interactive exhibits to the staff that are always available for questions, and of course, the live animal care center. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leilani Germain, and I am so excited to be talking to you tonight at our annual Stars of STEM Gala. My husband Andrew and I have been members of the museum for 15 years. We have 4 children from 9 months to 9 years old, and my oldest, Jack, is here with me today. Since Jack was a baby, we visited the museum at least weekly and sometimes more for so many special events. We joined the Young Professionals group, The Innovators, about 6 years ago, and as we experienced the wonderful events and got to know more of the staff, I decided to join the leadership committee to be able to help and give back to this wonderful institution. Currently, I'm the vice chair of this committee and just started my 2nd year on the board as a museum advisor. We also think it is important for children and adults to have access to STEM education and activities. Scientific literacy is important to us personally and as a value to instill in our children. Andrew has a PhD in organic chemistry, and I'm a certified financial planner and was also a music major in college. So I love that the MOS has taken STEM and been able to fuse in other disciplines like using the planetarium as a concert venue and the various art displays that have come through the museum. I love the fact that the museum is a place where there are no limits to what it means to learn or to where science fits into the world around us. Even with the limitations we're all living under right now, the museum has been able to expand offerings for events and programs into the virtual space. We have enjoyed taking part in some of the subspace adult programming like Multiverse, Coastler's Corner, and Walter Sickert Band Concert that have been offered to the public through MOS at Home, along with attending other virtual special events through our annual Giving Society membership. Our whole family loved having a behind-the-scenes tour of the Live Animal Care Center and enjoyed an evening of family trivia. We even came in second place. We have been excited to be able to return to the museum in person, and we really miss going so much, and we're thrilled to be back again weekly. The Pixar exhibit has been a wonderful treat, and Jack has enjoyed asking questions to Dr. Jha. We've all felt safe, and we really appreciate all that the museum has done to open its doors again. Thank you for joining us tonight and for your support of this wonderful institution.
Hello everyone, my name is Francisca Moraga Lopez and I'm the Professional Development Coordinator with EIE at the Museum of Science. I am also now a presenter with MOS en Español. MOS en Español came to life in April and took off running, and we haven't stopped since. Our programming was initially modeled after our MOS live shows, but it was always important to us to make sure that our content, our stories, our examples had some kind of relevancy to our Latinx community. What has been most exciting about being a part of MOS en Español and EIE is the way in which both are helping expand access to STEM education. With MOS en Español, for the first time ever, we're not only bringing the Museum of Science to people's home, but we're doing so through unique and relevant topics in Spanish. And as someone who grew up coming to the Museum of Science as a student and with her family, I'm truly honored to be part of the team making this happen.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Gonzalez Cerullo, and I'm the Director of Product Development for the EIE STEM Curriculum Division of the Museum of Science of Boston. The EIE suite of products already does this amazing job of creating and developing design challenges that are placed all around the world so that students can connect to characters with different cultural backgrounds and upbringings. So it's our challenge really now as a team to really push that forward. We were already hearing that if teachers could only focus on two things, it would be ELA and math, and we just refused to believe that there wasn't a world where we couldn't include engineering and through engineering science into schools again. So really listening to teachers, talking to teachers, really understanding the best practices around sync and async, and then really taking a look at our design principles, we married all of this information and created what we called the virtual learning series. What's exciting is, we've received early feedback from our virtual learning series program, and so far, so good. It's really exciting to both see this now spreading across the country, being able to bridge the gap of accessibility, whether it be through digital or otherwise. We have really continued to push the envelope on what it means to bring engineering home.
Thank you, Leilani, Jack, Vanessa, and Francisca. And before we go on to the rest of our program, let me give you a little update on the fundraising. We've gotten off to a pretty good start. We're up over $14,000 on our way toward 50 or more. Remember what it goes to. It's virtual programming, which enables us to meet people where they are in our community, our nation, and the world. And everyone is at home trying to learn, and we can be a part of that. So let's keep going and eclipse our goal. Next in our program, you will hear from the First Lady of Massachusetts, Lauren Baker. As First Lady, Lauren is working to improve the lives of children of Massachusetts, focusing on the children served by the Department of Children and Families through her work with the Wonder Fund, a private nonprofit she helped launch. Since 2018, the museum has partnered with the Wonder Fund to support foster families across the Commonwealth with free admission to the museum, and more recently, with EIE at-home engineering kits. Lauren will share more about our fantastic partnership. After that, you will hear from one of our external partners, Dr. Jennifer Robertson-Honecker. Jennifer is a STEM specialist for West Virginia University Extension Services 4-H youth development program and works with us in delivering EIE to students in a very underserved part of our country.
Hi, I'm First Lady Lauren Baker. You know, there's nothing like spending time at the Museum of Science to open your eyes, feed your imagination, and spark your curiosity. And for a child, this experience can be truly transformative. And that's why the Wonder Fund is so grateful to the museum for partnering with us to bring thousands of children in the foster care system the experience of going to the museum for free. The Wonder Fund's a private nonprofit that serves every child engaged with the Department of Children and Families. We provide resources and opportunities to these kids whose lives have been impacted by trauma, abuse, and neglect. And we make sure that these kids can have those moments of childhood wonder that every child deserves. Because of our partnership with the Museum of Science, thousands of foster families can spark their child's imagination by spending time at the museum for free. They get to visit the exhibits, take part in the programs, and experience the museum all year round as often as they wish for free. And for teens, there's also an opportunity for internships and for career readiness opportunities. These experiences might not have been available to these families and these children if the Museum of Science hadn't stepped up to offer this partnership to the Wonder Fund. During the pandemic, our children probably didn't have the access to the enrichment opportunities that they need to keep learning. And then the museum stepped in and sent home over 700 EIE Try It kits so that these kids could enjoy the wonder of science right in their own homes. And additionally, during this pandemic, the museum launched what's called the MOS Online. And that brings STEM education and virtual field trips to everyone for free. And the museum has worked so hard since March to expand these programs so that they can be of even greater service to districts, educators, and parents during this uncertain time of hybrid and at-home learning. So it's pretty easy to say that the impact that the Museum of Science has on children and teens is immeasurable. And today I want to say thank you. Thank you to the Museum of Science on behalf of the Wonder Fund and the thousands of children that we serve together. And thank you to you, the donors and patrons of the Museum of Science, for making this incredible access to this great museum possible. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Jen Robertson-Honecker, and I'm the STEM specialist for West Virginia University Extension Services 4-H Youth Development Program. For the last 25 years, we have run Energy Express, a summer literacy and nutrition program for at-risk youth. Each summer, this 6-week program reaches more than 3,000 elementary school-aged youth from across the state. This summer, we were forced to move the program to a virtual format due to the pandemic. The Museum of Science quickly helped us adapt our planned engineering as elementary activities into at-home offerings. They provided us with professional development resources to train the AmeriCorps members who lead the virtual classes with the kids. They packed over 3,000 individual kits that allowed youth to complete their engineering design activities from home. And they adapted the accompanying Try It worksheet to make it easier for parents to guide their children through the project. Engineering as elementary is an important part of the curricula that we offer because their design-based learning activities allow youth to hone their critical thinking and problem-solving skills through projects that also promote creativity and individualism. We found that these projects are an excellent way to teach growth mindset to both students and teachers.
Thank you, Lauren, and thank you, Jennifer, for your participation this evening. I hope you at home can see how the museum's work not only impacts the greater Boston area and the Commonwealth, but also how we inspire students in STEM across the country. EIE is offered in school districts in every state across the United States. And that's just one way that we're bringing the museum to students, educators, and families where they are. This can only happen with your support and the collaboration with partners such as our honoree, Dell Technologies. Dell Technologies is committed to expanding access to STEM education to underserved students. Through their generous support, the Museum of Science has introduced EIE to over 350 teachers and close to 12,000 students across the country. Through their support, we've created or expanded a presence at Title I schools in 7 cities around the country and including right here in Worcester, Massachusetts. And they've supported our addition of the computer science curriculum into the EIE curriculum, which is now available. After we see a small snapshot of Dell's impact on STEM education, I have the honor of welcoming Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, who will be presenting the award to Christy Hummel of Dell Technologies this evening. We're extremely grateful to the Lieutenant Governor for taking time out of her busy schedule, especially during Mass STEM Week 2020. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for being present with us this evening to present Dell with the Stars of STEM Award.
We design engineering and computer science curriculum for students in grades pre-K through 8th grade. We are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers.
Children learn valuable 21st century skills such as collaboration, communication, problem solving, persistence.
We help them really discover their own voices in STEM, and it's really possible through the funding of partners like Dell.
The Museum of Science and Dell Technologies both are extremely committed to educating young people. There are many young people in underserved communities that we would like to reach, but we can't do it on our own. We have to work together in order to make sustainable and long-lasting impact.
Dell's gift has impacted EIE greatly. We are empowering educators to reach all of their students.
We were able to create resources for diverse learners that really get to the underrepresented communities and girls and engage them in STEM education.
When we work with educators in the classroom, we get a lot of finally and thank you, because what we've done is listen to them and created something that really allows them to reach their students.
Not one entity is able to solve everything. Being able to work with an organization where we can help to impact thousands of youth across the United States is an honor, and we appreciate the collaboration and the partnership. Dell Technologies is so grateful to be this year's Star of STEM.
Hi, I'm Karen Polito, and I'm so honored to be with all of you tonight. This is an exciting night to be with all of these amazing trailblazers in STEM at the Museum of Science and all of their friends and partners. I also just want to talk a little bit about STEM. STEM is hope. It is the dream of a possibility becoming a reality. STEM is an opportunity for all of us to think about the talent and the people that can have access to science, technology, engineering, and math, and be part of an ecosystem that can do amazing things. You know, STEM is fun. And when you think about fun and STEM, you have to think about the Museum of Science, which is what all of you are doing tonight, thinking about how you can support this incredible program. It does take a leader and a champion, and I want to thank Tim for his outstanding leadership. When I first met Tim, it was just before the pandemic hit. So there's not too many presidents of science museums like yours that can say they started first out during a pandemic, but you certainly did. And you and your organization have done an amazing job all the way through. And I say that because you haven't lost your commitment and your focus and your energy around STEM education. and really partnering with our administration. And Governor Baker and I are so grateful that you've embraced STEM literacy and have figured out ways to reach students in K through 12 education all across our Commonwealth. You've been an amazing partner. But you also have been an amazing partner with private sector partners like Dell. Dell also understands that if we can work together, we can reach more students, we can help them understand these skills and develop the abilities to then become employed in places like Dell and start careers where you can accomplish amazing things. Dell, as Tim said, has embraced the EIE curriculum. And they not only embraced it, they have figured out a way to get it in places where it can really make a difference, getting more communities of color linked into STEM education that can then prepare them for their future. So when you think about a place like Worcester, they are so grateful to have a partner in Dell that has brought the EIE curriculum to their classrooms. And since you've been partnering with Worcester, you've trained over 100 educators, reaching over 2,500 students during this time. You've also been able to support them with virtual learning, reaching over 1,000 students even in these challenging times. And over the next few years, partnering with Worcester and the EIE curriculum, you'll be reaching over 12,500 students. Now that's making a difference. We are so proud of our Museum of Science. We are so proud of our partners at Dell. You couldn't have found a better star to recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate tonight. It is my great honor on behalf of our administration and with our partners at the Museum of Science to acknowledge Dell Technologies for being an amazing STEM leader. You are our star tonight and you shine bright. It is my pleasure to now turn it over to Christy Hummel, Senior Vice President of Dell Technologies.
I'd like to thank the Museum of Science on behalf of Dell Technologies for this honor. Many of our 7,000 team members in Massachusetts have enjoyed the museum's exhibits and events. And we're so pleased that our partnership, which has grown and matured so much over the years, can help reach more people in our community. Our goal at Dell Technologies is to create technologies that drive human progress. As part of this, we plan to reach 1 billion people in the area of health, education, and economic opportunity. Helping to reach underserved communities is a priority for us. Each year through 2030, 50% of the people empowered by our social and education initiatives will be girls, women, or underrepresented groups. By supporting Engineering is Elementary, we can help school districts across the United States enhance their programs. By providing teachers this quality STEM curriculum that is culturally sensitive, young people can learn about the variety of ways STEM shows up in our world, and they can see themselves positively represented in it. As an HR professional at Dell, this collaboration excites me. Our culture is designed to support every team member in reaching their full potential, and we aim to be the employer of choice for all. If we can get today's youth interested in STEM early on, give them the right access to education and technology, and continue to cultivate their interests and help them succeed, we're going to continue to grow a diverse workforce that drives innovation and inclusion. Thank you again for this honor, and we look forward to our continued partnership.
Thank you so much, Christy, and thank you again, Dell, for all that you continue to do for the museum. And good evening, everyone. I'm James Wetzel. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I am the producer of adult programs. I'm at the helm of the Subspace brand of events and experiences that are designed to engage adults of all communities, ages 18 plus, here at the museum. And our mission is to create programming that allows all adults to engage with the STEM issues that affect our society on a daily basis. And we do that by tapping into different formats, mediums, ways of learning, and diverse perspectives to ensure that every adult sees themselves in STEM and here at the Museum of Science. And a lot of our most successful work finds us fusing together art, science, and technology in revolutionary new ways. And a lot of that work happens here in the Charles Hayden Planetarium, which we have turned into a live performance venue collaborating with both local and national artists on groundbreaking work. And tonight, we have a sneak peek at one of those exciting projects as an exclusive premiere during Stars of STEM. Baba Brinkman is a rapper and science communicator whose award-winning off-Broadway series, The Rap Guide, has just blown away audiences all over the world, exploring issues like consciousness, climate change, evolution, and more in an exciting new lens. And tonight, I'm so thrilled to announce that Baba and 3 of the Rap Guide shows will be making their New England premiere here in the planetarium as a part of an upcoming Subspace season. And we have just a taste of the series for all of you tonight that the New York Times has declared astonishing and brilliant. And of course, we have to thank our entertainment sponsors for tonight, Lynn and Craig Wheeler, for making this preview possible, for bringing it to life, and for bringing Baba into all of your homes. So once again, thank you so much, Lynn and Craig. And now, without further ado, we welcome Baba Brinkman with excerpts from The Rap Guide.
Hello, Boston Museum of Science. My name is Baba Brinkman. I'm recording live from New York. I'm a rap artist. I'm originally from Canada, and I really hope to come and perform live there next year, pandemic permitting. But for now, I want to give you a little taste of my live shows. I do rap, science, communication, so this is what I call peer-reviewed rap. And the first piece I'm going to do is from my show, The Rap Guide to Evolution, which I wrote in 2009 and have still been touring up until last year. And then the second piece will be from The Rap Guide to Climate Chaos. All right, check it out. When you talk about evolution, Darwinism, people sometimes get scared. They think it means the strong should survive and the weak should perish. Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. What a bleak vision. What are we? Nothing but a freakish collision of selfish genes, selfishly promoting their own individual interests? That's bleak, man. Well, maybe, but maybe those interests could still be collective. It's just that phrase. Survival of the fittest. That phrase gets twisted all the time to justify the meager existence that poor people live with, right? It's a phrase that gets enlisted by social parasites who use it to promote their own selfish interests. I'm talking psychopaths, and eugenicists, and deregulated traders of economic derivatives, narcissistic American presidents. But social Darwinism is not scientific. It's a kind of sickness. Merely saying that something exists in a state of nature doesn't give it a moral basis. That's a false correlation. I mean, it's true that competition can increase motivation, but evolution is all about cooperation. Just ask the Dictyostelium nation. Those are slime mold amoebas, y'all. Each of them is a separate single-celled organism, but when they get into trouble, when they run out of food, they combine into a multicellular superorganism, and they all survive or die together. That's just like the origins of multicellularity, but before that there was endosymbiosis, right? That's when bacteria combined into eukaryotic cells and became organelles within those symbiotic shells. And there are 50 trillion eukaryotic cells making up our individual cells. So each of us is a physical space where a creative collective dwells. And that applies to the societies we erect as well, because survival of the fittest can also apply to groups, and the fittest group just makes the best combined move. So can't we all just get along, whatever we try and do? Group selection puts me in an altruistic mood. I'm like, yeah, love thy neighbor. What's that? You need some sugar? Aight, no problem. Come by later. Of course I'll do you a favor. Why is that? Cause I got the compassion of a vampire bat. Vampire bats feed other starving bats and all that, right? They even make Bill and Melinda Gates look bad. See, if you need some food, I do what I can. Doesn't matter if we're not related. You still my man, and you still my sister. Whew, I feel high, man. man. This universal love is good stuff. God damn. And you don't even have to reciprocate either, because karma is a sophisticated teacher. And karma doesn't mean like energy waves in the ether. Now, karma's in the way that everyone hates a cheater. Cheater detection will keep you in check if you don't treat other people respectfully. So go ahead, take what you want, run me down, cause I believe what goes around comes around. Liars and thieves and those who try to deceive get dealt with by their own reputations, or by the police, or by communities, or just all the immune systems of society. And survival of the fittest? Don't let it baffle you, cause fitness is just another word for aptitude between you and the habitat you're adapted to. So try to relax and adapt your attitude. I mean, the habitat you have to adapt to is the group, cause without the group, you would be panther food. So stop asking what the group can do for you, and try asking what you could do for the group. Is that cool? Hey, Boston Museum of Science, it's great to be here. So how should we talk about climate change? I asked my friend Bill Nye to give us some advice.
The thing to focus on is the last 2.5 centuries.
Aight.
Since the steam engine was everywhere, ubiquitous. That's when we put all this carbon dioxide in the air that would normally not be there.
So what we need is the last 200 years of climate science discoveries mashed up with some hip-hop slang. Alright, try this. Let's take it back 200 years to the 1800s up in here, when we only had 290 CO2 parts per million in the atmosphere. We had 1 billion Homo sapiens on the planet trying to get their groove on, and soon lots of them would, thanks to industrial revolution. Back when the steam engine had just been invented, and nothing was electric except the spirit of the times, progress, driven by the scientific method. Joseph Fourier was a Frenchman, a physicist and a mathematician. He discovered the fact that the atmosphere acts like a blanket for heat retention. The greenhouse effect, first described in 1824. Visible light from the sun meets little resistance inbound, cause the size of the wavelengths is hella tight. But then when it hits the earth, it emits infrared radiation with longer waves, and they get trapped and bounce back when they try to escape on their way back up into space. Climate skeptics today, from Ted Cruz to Rand Paul to Bobby Jindal, might say bounce back off of what? Introducing John Tyndall. In the 1860s, Tyndall investigated methane and CO2 and water vapor to see whether any of them block infrared radiation, and they all do, but methane and water vapor don't stick around in the atmosphere for long. It took a Swedish genius to identify carbon dioxide as a regulator, Svante Arrhenius. 1896, Svante did the math. If you cut the CO2 levels in half, you'll end up with the 4 to 5 degree temperature drop all across the map. But if you double it, he calculated a temperature escalation of 5 or 6 degrees, because water vapor increases with heat radiation, and that feeds back to increase the heat. Of course, in 1896, CO2 emissions were pretty moderate, so they thought it would take a couple thousand years to double the concentration when they thought of it. But you gotta give it to Svante, he predicted 5 or 6 degrees, and that's within the warming range predicted today by the IPCC. Now in 1927, Arrhenius died, a celebrated Swedish civilian, and 3 years later the population of planet Earth exceeded 2 billion. In 1938, a British engineer by the name of Guy Callender discovered a rise in carbon dioxide and also measured a rise in temperature. In 1958, Roger Revelle demonstrated that the oceans couldn't take care of it. He said humans are now carrying out a massive geophysical experiment. In 1960, Charles Keeling did some measurements on Mauna Loa of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and every year the level appeared to go up. It was rising at a steady rate, the same rate as emissions from us burning oil and coal. Also in 1960, the population hit 3 billion souls. And now we got 7.5 billion individuals in the same boat, all hooked on fossil fuels like a drug. And how we gonna quit, huh? Just say no. There's no easy answers, there's just the truth and its inconvenience. But the scientific evidence is not recent, just ask Svante Arrhenius. And now we got 417 parts per million, and that's an increase in CO2 density of 40% in just 2 centuries. So either we set a carbon budget, we set a cap and we stay within the limit, or else we can expect a catastrophic greenhouse effect. And that's physics.
Wow, what a fantastic evening. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and congratulations again to Dell for your commitment to our shared values. And speaking of shared values, let me bring you up to speed on where we are on the fundraising. The goal was $50,000. The good news is we're at $35,000, which is not bad. But there's well over 200 of you out there who are watching. And this is your chance to give to what you value. This is your chance to create an opportunity for some talented kid out there who does not have the opportunity to get what they need to be successful in a world driven by science and technology. I know you value it. Please make a commitment now. I'll bring you back up to speed on where we are in the next couple minutes, but if you make a commitment now, I promise you will be glad you did, because you'll be giving to what I know you value the most. We're going to close the evening here from our Science Behind Pixar. That's where I'm standing right now. Our original exhibit developed in collaboration with Pixar, celebrating the convergence of art and science. How appropriate after that wonderful performance by Baba Brinkman, Art and Science. Thank you, Baba, for bringing your incomparable work to us. I'd also like to give another big shout out to our amazing host committee for making this such a spectacular event. Thank you so much to our special guests, Leilani and Jack Germain, Francisca Moraga Lopez, Vanessa Cerullo, Lauren Baker, the First Lady of our Commonwealth, Dr. Jennifer Robertson Honecker, Christy Hummel, James Wetzel, and of course, Baba Brinkman. Most importantly, thank you for joining us this evening and for your generous support for the museum. Wait a second. Let's see how generous the support is. Any updates? All right, no updates too quickly. So we're at 35. We're going to report back to you after this event, and I know we're going to be over 50, because only together can we create a world where science belongs to each of us for the good of all of us. Thank you, everybody, for everything that you've done for us tonight. There's still more time to give, of course, but we're going to ask you to come visit us online at MOS at Home or right here at Science Park. There are a lot of great things coming up this fall. There's the reopening of the new digitized Omni Theater. And let me tell you, if you haven't seen a single lens projector in a dome, you will have your socks blown off. We'll also have the return of our beloved family tradition, trains at Science Park. And in December, we have a brand new exhibit called Arctic Adventure. Once again, kind of an art, tech, science thing about climate change, about the Arctic, about adventure, about solving problems. There's lots to enjoy here at the museum this season, but there's also a big journey ahead of us as we innovate our work to try to become even more relevant to our community. Your support will help us get us there. Thank you for joining. And now I'm going to turn it back to Baba for a special wrap-up. Baba, take it away.
Hey, Boston Museum of Science Gala, it's great to be back. I got a wrap summary of the event that I want to share with you right now. I just wrote this after taking everything in that you guys have just witnessed. So yeah, check it out. Here's the grand finale. It's called Science Can Save Us. Yeah, hope you guys had fun here. Come on. It's like, science can save us, science can save us. I stay home all day and it's trying my patience. Science is why I'm currently in hibernation. Science is how we stop a viral invasion. Yeah, science can save us. Staying home all day is trying my patience. Hibernation, necessary arrangements to stay on side of public health violations. Come on, Boston Museum of Science, we're locked in. So this goes out to all the people watching in pajamas and socks. I got bars for them. This is a wrap up for the stars. of STEM. So shout out to Tim Ritchie. Welcome to the family. We're happy you moved here from the Silicon Valley, where you ran that tech initiative, interactive 2020. Good year to make it happen. Crisis management. I feel for you, soldier, but look at all the people online who just showed up. So I guess the transition to virtual is working. Shout out to every VIP, every virtually important person. I'm virtually important too. Plus I'm virtually famous. That happens when random people know what your name is, and not even millions. I'm talking 1 to 3. That's how many donors we gotta get to fund the need. Just ask Leilani Germain and Jack running free with the museum to himself. He used to visit once a week his whole life until COVID-19, and now he's back and he gets the whole tour behind the scenes. And that's not to diminish the whole workflow of Vanessa Cerullo. MOS at home, that curriculum is straight up filling a need, cause hey, engineering is elementary, and MOS at home is connecting to folks through Francisca Moraga and Espanol, so that diverse communities, they get to buy in. So if you underfunded, the kids get to try it. Inequalities out there, they're not fair, but we can reach DCF youth in foster care through scholarship, right? And entry fee waivers. Ask Massachusetts First Lady Lauren Baker. STEM education is what the kids need inclusively in all communities. So shout out to STEM geeks from an MC who reps 365, not just on STEM week, but what is it today? It's STEM week up in Massachusetts. You have a brain, you can choose to use it. Comprehension is useful and neato. Just ask Lieutenant Governor Catherine Polito. And shout out to Dale for doing so well in 2020 Stars of STEM, for giving help to underserved students so they can excel and never expel their inner STEM selves. Congratulations, that award isn't subtle, but you were very graceful about it, Christy Hummel. Even in the face of applause, stay humble, cause ego is known to make a stage crumble. Yeah, I twist lyrics just like a brain pretzel. Gotta shout out to my man James Wetzel. Adult programs have an insane schedule, but I know this whole COVID thing has been stressful for me too. I hope the Zoom rap is working. I was supposed to do this track there in person on stage at a gala and be that nerd rapper and then drink champagne and eat some hors d'oeuvres after, but I can still settle for a virtual song. Bring it on, at least until the pandemic is gone. And for that, we're gonna need STEM education. So support the museum, cause only science can save us. Science can save us. Science can save us. I stay home all day and it's trying my patience. Science is why I'm currently in hibernation, and science is how we stop a viral invasion. Science can save us. Science can save us. Staying home all day is trying my patience. Hibernation, necessary arrangement. The best kind of galas avoid public health violations. That's right, the best kind of galas avoid public health violations. So stay wise, stay safe. We'll get back together when we can socialize safely. Support science though, cause science can save us. Thank you all for being here.